Villanova legend, one who we'll find out how much he have done. I think with this person, Nova Nation, we really need to see how great this individual was, and we'll go over some of his accolades. We have with us joining us today, Allan Ray. Allan, thank you for joining the show.
What's up, Jay Frey? What's up, Nova Nation?
How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. You know,
Good.
just living life.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. But what I wanted to talk about first, I know all too well as you. People don't realize your whole entire journey on. I think you touch everything. When people think about overcoming obstacles and overcoming injuries, they think of me and they say, "Oh, so much." But I remember, here it is. You was in high school, and you were slotted to be All-American, and from the jump, you talk about your foot injury that you had in your senior year at that.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember that. It goes back to the beginning of my senior year in high school. We had practice. We was at practice, and we was doing a drill, just a regular shooting drill. And I remember doing the drill, and one of my teammates closed out on me, and I wound up landing on his foot, and I came down, kind of twisted my ankle a little bit, and you know, it kind of hurt really bad. And I remember going to the hospital with my father, who went to go get it checked out. And I remember waiting in the waiting room. We was in the waiting room for hours. And then my father finally got up and was like, "Hey," we're like, "What's going on? We've been here for a while." And I remember the nurse being like, "Hey, he shouldn't be on his foot because it's broken." And we both looked at each other like, "Broken?" And it come to find out I broke my fifth metatarsal, and I had to sit out my whole senior year.
I remember that you had to sit that out, and I know it was tough because we actually had our team slotted to play one another. We did play, but and we won a close game, and I know it must have been tough you watching from the side because you guys, who you guys had? I know you had Dion Merritt, and I feel like there was two other players.
We had Louis Makrowski, we had Tyreek Atkins. I can't remember everybody that was on that team, but we had a pretty good team. We was young. Yeah, so I definitely, and we just won back-to-back city championships, and we won a state championship. You know, that's what we did, St. Ray's.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and you know, I was really looking forward to this year. You know, I wanted to three-peat, and then you know, there was a couple of guys ahead of me in the rankings, like Curtis Sumpter and Jason Fraser, and I was, you know, I wanted that top spot.
No, you know what? That's what New York City basketball is always going to be good, but that was one of the last eras where the talent, I mean, was just so deep. You usually had 20 players, throughout the state that was D1 players, you know, and it was just and it didn't matter, especially on the high school level. It didn't matter what your ranking was, how good you was, your position. You can get got any night, and where someone would drop 30 on you and lock you up on top of that. You know, it was good times. So you know, being that we're talking about those high school days, I remember my fondest memory of you prior to playing Villanova basketball was when we played together on the same team on a very famous game. You want to talk about that game?
Was that the game at IS8?
IS8.
Who we played? We played against LeBron and them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was like one of the most hyped games I ever been in, man. Like it was just the court was just full of D1 players. I remember you. I remember Sebastian. I remember LeBron. Who else played in that game?
Chris Taft, Karan Clark.
Uh-huh.
And there was some guy, I always forget his name. He went, I want to say he played at Indiana or Alabama, one of them. And he was from Indiana. I believe he played at Alabama. Remember, he looked like Charlie a little bit. He had Charlie's features, light skin, he was a top player, same build as Charlie.
I can't remember. I was about to ask you, did Charlie play in that game too? I can't remember.
Let me see. Yes, he had to. It was our squad. And matter of fact, it was our full squad. Taekwon Dean couldn't play. And then I remember, I think it was Kurt had asked Guy, you know, can you come play with us? And I remember Guy asked us, I was like, heck yeah. You can come play. That, you know, that was fun, man. That was fun.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember off the tip, LeBron caught that. He did his little famous dunk that he always do. Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember what he did at halftime? Do you remember right before halftime? I remember the play because I was in the play. So
what did he do?
So we remember, I think we were down like 15. We were down big early. And Kurt, I told Kurt, I said, don't worry, Kurt, press up on him. Because I knew Bashy had the ball. Obviously, he's going to LeBron. Bashy's going to go to score. Or, Bashy was very good at incorporating other players,
Yeah.
considering how great of a scorer he was, for his era. And then with that said, Bashy had the ball. LeBron comes off the ball. Obviously, he's coming back to him. LeBron breaks to the basket. I told Kurt to press upon him. I'm right there at the basket, like, yeah, you're not getting anything. So he literally jumps on one side of the rim. So I jump on the other side of the rim. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Nothing. This joker literally went under the rim to the other side, caught it, and went like this behind, and then landed and then just jogged in half court.
Infamous Bron jog.
Yeah, that little jog. And I couldn't. That's when I said, man, this dude is different. Where you jump on.
How you felt about that after he did that?
It took me all the halftime to process it. I didn't know how to feel. I had to process what happened.
Because you took pride in stuff like that. Like somebody did something like that to you, like you ain't take it lightly,
No.
But yeah, I remember that game. That game was crazy.
Different. He was different.
Yeah.
But that second half, we put the locks on, and that, like how we always do. That's a trademark. Play that defense.
Yes,
It's funny how that was foretelling, because remember, that reminds me of when we were, I want to say we were sophomores and we were playing against UConn. Game was coming up, and coach had us all in the media room, and he said, can you guys beat UConn? This is championship UConn. This is when they had Emeka Okafor, Ben Gordon, Charlie was there, Josh Boone, Marcus Williams. They had another guy. His last name was Brown. He was a 2-guard.
Yeah, Denham Brown.
Denham Brown was a baller. I mean, UConn was just beyond loaded. They literally had like 8 to 9 starters.
Hill and Armstrong was on that team.
Hilton Armstrong was on that team.
Talik Brown. You said Talik Brown?
Oh yeah, no, man. Do you see how talented they were?
Yeah, Talik was on that team.
They were loaded. And I remember Coach went in the room one by one, and he said, can you beat UConn? And then we said, yeah, we can beat. We were all from the city. We were from the city or New York, and we all had a chip on our shoulder. And the attitude was, we're going to beat anybody. And he asked us why. And some said we can shoot, we can move the ball, we can play Villanova basketball, things that we think he wanted to hear and things that we believe. And he said, I know we're ready to win when we respond, because we're going to get a stop when we need one at the end of the game. Because every game, big time game, comes down to who can get that stop and then convert on the other end. Yeah, man. So that it was so foretelling, because that's how we were in high school, and he's just sharpened that and brought that to another level. Here. Side note: do you remember when we played UConn and we were sophomores, and Talik Brown was taking the ball out as a timeout, and coach looked at Randy, he said, I want you to pick him up full court, and Randy started sweating and wiping his forehead.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. But what's crazy is, I talked to Coach Wright. I talked to him last year, and I told him I think that was the game that like turned us around and kind of made us believe that we could be a good team, because they was the national champions that year, and we took them into overtime that game.
Right.
And it was at the Wachovia Center, which is the Wells Fargo Center now.
Right.
And we gave them a run for their money. I mean, we was locking in. We was playing D. And I think that's when we believe, like, you know what? Like, we really can play. If we just continue to, like, build on this and, like, do what coach say and really strap up on defense and execute game plans, like, we can be good. And I think from there, that's when, and that was the year we went to the tournament, the Big East tournament, and Randy had hit that shot.
Yes, Seton Hall?
Against Seton Hall. So, and it was probably like a month after that, after we played UConn. So that UConn game started giving us a lot of confidence. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, do you remember the timeout I'm talking about? You really remember vividly?
Yeah, because Randy ain't really want to press him full court, because Talik Brown, he was good with the ball. One
of the best handles in the country. If not, he had the best handle in the country.
Yeah, I remember that.
He started sweating. He wiped his forehead. He looked at Randy and said, Randy, I want you to pick up Talik full court. Remember Randy looked up? He was looking at the board. He looked up at coach like, are you serious?
With that face he be making.
Yeah. Hey, I remember when he stepped on the court. Tell me if you really remember this. He pressed up on Talik. Talik was about to go by him. Then he looked at him and said, "Are you really doing this?" Remember, he had that, his body language did that. So he backed up and just went, boop, 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 boop. He went, obviously he went by. I mean, there was no, I don't care. There was no one pressing Talik full court. No, without help, there was no one pressing him. Yeah. So good times, man. Good times. Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with the Bet Rivers yet, now's the time. Bet Rivers Sportsbook is offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one play through to turn your bonus into cash. When you win at Bet Rivers Sportsbook, they pay fast. And now it's even faster with the Rush Pay instant approval for withdrawals. It's safe, it's secure, and it's reliable. With March Madness right around the corner, there's never been a better time to give Bet Rivers Sportsbook a try. Go to betrivers.com. That's BETRIVERS.com today, or download the Bet Rivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call TEL 1-800-GAMBLER. Talking about the current team, it's tough, and that's why I started off talking about the injuries. Collin went down. We did get the win over Creighton. Obviously, we saw what happened against Providence. And I think what people don't understand as fans or other people even who played, it's not about replacing points when you lose certain players. It's not about replacing assists, rebounds, stats in general. It's tough when you lose your leader or one of your leaders of the team. You know, that's an intangible that's hard to quantify. With that being said, you know, give me your thoughts on that and talk a little bit about, remember Kurt was our leader junior year. He went down in NCAA tournament and others had to step up. So talk about what does it mean to lose your leader from your perspective and what can they do to overcome this challenge?
Bro, I just was on Twitter talking about this earlier today. I was just saying like how, you know, like you just said, Curtis went down. And, you know, at the time, you know, I feel like he was our best player, one of our best players by far. And
he was the man.
Yeah. And, you know, that really, when he went down, it really motivated us to like want to win for him, you know, and to like shut the critics up who thought that we couldn't do it without him. Oh, he's down. We can't play now. We're going to lose. So it was like more of a feeling within us, like as a family, like as a brotherhood, like, you know, we could get this done. And it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't just like we got to replace his scoring. Like we all had to step up and become leaders in our own right. You know, everybody had to do different things on the court. You know, we had to rebound more. You know, we had to be more aggressive on defense. We had to talk more on the court, you know, communicate more because Curtis wasn't there. He's 6'6". We all midgets. He was the biggest person we had on the court at the time. So, you know, it was really more mental than anything, more physical, which a lot of people don't realize. You know, it's a lot of mental that goes into that. And I feel the same way with the team now. Yeah, they lost Collin. I think Justin Moore, he hurt his ankle. He's not going to be able to play in the Big East tournament. But, you know, right now, this is the perfect opportunity for guys that feel like they haven't been playing and want to show that they can play. You know, this is the perfect opportunity to step up and show everybody that you're committed, that you're 100% in Villanova basketball, because that's all you really need to be. You know, that's what got us over the hump. We became 100% invested into Villanova basketball. And like, that's the only way that it's gonna work. So I'm pretty confident in the team, you know, next guy up mentality. Somebody, they have to step up. You know, if they want to win the games, like they have to step up. Someone has to step up and be a leader and fill that void. And one thing I know about Coach Wright is, you know, he's gonna lead you to the water, but it's up to you to drink it, you know, and like he can show you how to win. He can tell you what to do, but it's up to you to go on the court and do what you got to do to win the game. So I'm pretty confident in the team, and you know, I think they can be successful, but it's just going to be a big testament to their mindset and their seniors. Jermaine, you know, he gotta be more of a leader than he's ever been. You know, that's what's really going to get them over the hump. You know, they're going to need leadership out there.
Yeah. You're 100% right. And there's two things I think of, and I when I hear you explain and respond to that is, one, believing in our brand is really caring about one another, and which leads into, it's a good segue into my second point, which is playing for your teammates. And I honestly remember I would post up simply because I knew you were coming off a pin down, and you obviously, your shot was wet, it was money, but you also had the ability to drive. And I literally would post up to seal. I did want the ball,
I
but
remember that.
I'll tell you, I'm like, go, 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 go. And in my heart of hearts, I'm saying I'm going to get Ari a layup. I'm going to get Randy a layup. That's what I'm thinking. So, but then sometimes you sail so well, then you're like, oh man, I got the guy buried. And then you just throw it down, then it was an easy dunk.
I remember you used to do that all the time. I used to come off the pick, and you used to seal your man so good. Sometimes I had the whole lane for layups. Me, Randy, like we had the whole lane. I used to be like, damn. And you used to literally be on the court talking about go, 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 like lay the ball up. I definitely remember that. And then sometimes, like you said, like you would seal and then you'd be wide open. But that's what that's what it means. Like, that's team basketball.
Right. Really playing for one another. I used to really get excited saying, I'm about to screen the crap out of A-Ray's man. He gonna be wide open on this pin down real quick. I'm about to drill his guy, and like drill your guy down on that pin down. Or if it was Randy, I remember 11, he'll take the ball out, we'll inbound the ball, and especially if his man was messing with him, I will always signal with my hand. I'll do a little circle. Randy will know. I'll whistle and do a little circle. And what that meant was, I'm going to run and then turn at half court. He's going to go full speed, and we're just going to lay his man flat out on the ground. Remember, we used to get some of that, and again, it was all about one another, man. It was really wanting to see the other person score, or really wanting to help your teammates, but you're playing good basketball. And to your point, we'll see how much they like each other. We'll see how much they're really bought in, which I'm confident, and it sounds from the way you're speaking, you're confident that they are bought in, and we just got to sit back and watch what happens.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an interesting time. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what these guys do, but I got faith in them, and I know they could do it, I know they can.
Yeah. So we'll be watching, and what a time, tourney time. It's tournament time, and they got it. There's no testing in a regular season game. It's put up or shut up right now. So that'll be excited, man. Talk about the tournament and all the runs and the things that we did as an organization. I did want to highlight you a little bit. I think people really don't realize, especially given our recent success, winning the 2 national championships in that 3-year span, then sending so many players to the NBA over the last 5 years, and then everyone hears a lot about Randy, obviously about Kyle, because Kyle, in my opinion, I think, I guess you could say it's debatable, but to me, it's not debatable. He's the greatest Raptor. Toronto Raptor ever. That's not, you'll find someone say something, but I don't even think it's close. He's the greatest Raptor. But with you, I would like to highlight, him and Vince. But I would like to highlight, and Chris Bosh have an argument, but I like to highlight some of the things, 3 things that people don't realize. Number 1, Villanova has a plethora of defenders, right? You're number 22 on the steals list. And some people may be like, well, I don't sound like a lot. You were a shooter. That's number 2, number 22 on an all-time steal list out of all the great guards. Villanova at one time was nicknamed Guard U. And I remember that. And out of a Guard U, which is pumping out guard after guard after guard by the trio, 3 guards this year, another 3 guards next year, you're 22 out of the whole history of steals. Then it gets better. Obviously, that you're number 7 on the scoring list. Again, think about all the guys that's in the league right now, right? Yeah. Think about all the guys that came before us, and think about the guy that came during our era. You're number 7 out of everybody on the scoring list. And here's another thing people don't realize. You're number 7 playing with Randy Foye, Kyle Lowry, and again, for all intents and purposes, what people don't realize, Mike Nardi was a heck of a player.
For sure.
So here it is. We have 4 guards that could, and I didn't even mention Kurt. So we literally were on a team where you remember I actually talked about with Kurt when Kurt went down. We played against Florida, and I'll never forget. Coach Wright looked at me and said, "All right, we're gonna go to you tonight," because he knew that we just wasn't enough ball to go around for us to score. I dropped 24. I think it was 24 that night, but I could score. Then so you had myself, you, Randy, Kyle, Kurt. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Nardi. So we had 6 legitimate people who can score and fill it up if you went to them, and you still managed to be number 7 all time at Villanova history. I think that's noteworthy, and I think you need to receive your flowers for that. Now, here's the thing I'm most proud of. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So you're number 2 on 3-point field goals made. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Number 2, right? Now
in the whole school.
The whole school.
3-point is made.
Number 1 is Gary Buchanan.
Okay.
Right. And we're going to talk about the practice about that. But here's another thing. What are you in the Big East? All time 3-point field goals made.
Big East.
Big East. Now, how good was the Big East? The Big East back. Are we talking about from Chris Mullin, Pat Ewing, a little bit even before that, all the way until the modern time, right?
Yeah.
You're number 10.
Damn.
So think about remember Troy Bell? Think about all the great players that went through the Big East. All the great guards. Too. Think about all the Syracuse guards. Think about all the legends that went through the Big East. You're number 10. To this day, you're number 10.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
So if I told you someone was try to take yourself out of it, if I say, hey, Ray, I need you to look at this play at Nova. He is real good right now. He's a senior. They're going into the NCAA tournament. He's number 2 in 3-point field goals made. He's number 7 on the scoring list, and he's number 10 in the Big East on 3-point made. You'll say, yo, I got to see this guy. Well, honestly, wouldn't you? You're like, yo, this guy must. You think, remember the years that JJ Redick had with Adam Morrison, where they were just scoring night in, night out. You'll think, you're like, I got to see him. He must be on ESPN all the time. And we were just so loaded, and we accomplished so much, and there's so many storylines and plot lines to follow that I didn't think you got your just due with your flowers. And I wanted to take this episode on my platform to honor you and say thank you for your greatness and everything that you did for the program. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate that, Jay. And I didn't realize, I just know I had the 3-point record for most threes made in the game, but I didn't realize all those other accolades. But
on top of that,
that's a big testimony to you guys too. I couldn't have done that without my teammates, man. You guys, like you said, giving me layup ceiling guys, and somebody got to pass me the ball for me to score, and that's just a testament to you guys, coaches, everybody. I couldn't do that without you guys.
You're responding like a true Villanova player. No, and it's sincere. So that's what's cool about it. Shifting gears a little bit. So there's 2 more things I want to discuss. People talk about being a talented player, as you were, that could have easily had a 10-year or more NBA career, but you're right at that part where you're towards the end of the bench, and then you get offered triple, quadruple money to go play overseas, and then making that decision then to go overseas, and then do I stay overseas or come back to the NBA? Talk about what that's like, and then after you talk about what it's like, talk to those who may be in that situation or potentially be in that situation, and advise them like how to take care of their money and how to make the right decision for them. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was like one, if not the biggest decisions that I ever had to make in my life, man. So, it came down to for me to pick up my option with the Celtics after that first year. And I remember having good talks with Doc Rivers and Danny Ainge about, coming back and being a part of what they was going to be doing for the next year. I remember even Doc used to play me at the point sometimes because he thought it was a good idea to have somebody that could run the point and stretch out the defense because I'm able to shoot, man. We had Paul Pierce. Everybody used to double him all the time. I used to be open all the time. First half of the season NBA, I was leading all rookies in 3-point percentage and 3-point shooting, so I used to get a lot of wide open shots. And then, so it came down, like you said, they were supposed to pick up my option in like June or July, and they wind up pushing it back to like August. And then I had this offer to play in Europe for, like you said, it was about triple what I would have made the next year in the league. And you know, what I always say now is I would never make a decision like based on money, you know? And that's pretty much what I did, made that decision based on like money, you know, or they told me like, okay, you can go play 2 years overseas and then come back and, you know, take the money. It's hard to pass down this money. And you know, I definitely, if I could do it all over, I definitely would like made that decision, because you know you work so hard to make it to the NBA, and then like once you get in the NBA, then to leave, you know. But you know, I was young. I really didn't have the greatest guidance, you know, from like my agents and stuff like that. And you know, I definitely would do that over and just stay, you know, because I wind up getting traded or bounced around, but you know, I still would have been in the league. So, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm not like upset about it or like regret anything. You know, it was a decision that I made, and I still had a great career plan, and you know, I got to do what I love for a living, and you can't beat that.
No, you were great. And correct me if I'm wrong. I remember, so the first half of that season, you're shooting great. And then the second half, towards the end of the season, remember, you had some big scoring games. You had some
Yeah,
games where you was putting up numbers. Do you remember any specific?
yeah, I remember all of them. I remember because Paul Pierce had got hurt, Wally Zerbiak had got
Mm-hmm.
hurt. I had went down to the D League for about 2 weeks, and then they moved me back up. And I remember I started about 5 games, and I was averaging like 18, 5 and 5 in those games. I remember we played against the first game I really got in was against the Raptors. I remember I scored like double digits that game. Then we went to play the Wizards. I scored like 17 that game. Then we went and played the Hawks. I had like 22. I remember playing against the Pacers. I had another 22 ball. So I was playing really good, and I was getting kind of comfortable with playing.
I remember watching you and just being so proud, just
Yeah,
being so proud because I know the other guys, you look at the draft and the first round and say, oh, it's guaranteed. And I know what goes into having to prove yourself, what goes into having to overcome obstacles, and to see you flourish, despite everything else. I mean, it was a beautiful thing. What was your first welcome to the NBA moment that you can remember?
training camp. I remember being in training camp, not getting on the court at all the first couple of days. I remember one time, I remember like it was yesterday. I remember I tried to sub in for Tony Allen, right?
Right.
I came on the court because Doc Rivers was like, "Yo, y'all got to sub yourself in." You know, he wasn't going. He
You
wasn't.
chose him?
He was a guard, dog.
You chose him?
He
You
was
kidding me?
So listen.
Go ahead.
So I come on the court and I'm like Tony, I got you. He looked at me. He was like, he's like get off the court, rookie, or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
So they went, they had one possession, went up and down,
Mhm.
and then I came back the next dead ball. I'm like, yo, Tony, I got you. So he looked at me. He's like, because he's from Chicago, so he used to say Joe all the time. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Joe, I'm not getting off the court, Joe.
Right, right, right.
He's like, basically get the F out of here. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
getting off the court, Joe. So I'm like, you know me. I'm like, well, I'm not getting off the court either. I'm like,
Right,
shit,
right,
nobody gonna be practicing right here, dog. I'm
right.
like, so we just gonna stand here and look stupid. And Doc Rivers is like, what y'all doing? What's going on? And I'm like, I ain't say nothing. And I'm telling Tony, I'm like, yo, I'm not getting off the court, dog. I'm like, yo, I'm getting in the game right now. I'm tired of sitting on the sideline.
Right.
And then Doc is like, Tony, sub out. He's like, hey Ray, get in. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah. How did that go over? Like, what was your relationship after that?
Now we was cool. You ain't no punk, Joe. He was like, I like
You
that. He was
respect
like,
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Doc said the same thing too. Doc was like, he was like, yo, these are grown men out here. He's like, you gonna have to earn your take out here. And from that point on, a lot of them respected me after that.
Man, that's a great story.
Because
That's a great
I
story.
didn't get drafted either, so it wasn't like Rondo and them. They getting on the court. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But for me, it was a little bit different. But me, Jay. I don't back down from nobody.
No, no. And I think that unit, our unit that we had in school, that's what made it special. Like no one, not even Kyle, nobody tried to act like a tough guy, but you weren't punking
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
Tell you
yeah,
that
yeah.
straight up. You weren't punking us. But you know what? And I know I went talking about overseas. This just brought back two stories that I want to know, get your recollection of it. So we were freshmen, right?
Hmm.
We were freshmen, and no, so essentially, according to the record book, the two greatest shooters in Villanova history happen to be on the same court during the same tenure at the school. You just happen to be a freshman, right? So we're playing. Remember that practice we had? We literally ran for 3 hours. It wasn't a 3 hour practice. We ran for 3 hours, and then we fell asleep in Miss Baranski class at night. And then the next
Yeah,
morning, Coach Gunny talked about, babe, why'd you fall asleep? You remember that?
yeah. Was we in the pavilion with that practice?
Yes.
Yeah,
So what happened? You got hot, and you try to state your claim. You freaking second. You're going to end up being the second greatest shooter in Villanova history, right? You're shooting, and Gary, the king, you get what I'm saying? So he's like this. He's like, yo, I'm on a throne. I'm a senior, and he's going into his senior year. So I remember you hit a three, hit a three, you hit a three, hit a three. Then he looked at you because I think you came down and hit from the hash mark, like, and then you was
yeah.
like pulling back, like you were feeling yourself, right? He looked at you and was like, "Oh, really?" He took like 1, 2 steps over half court and just like bang. And then coach was like, "All right, all right, all right." He blew his whistle. He said, "Listen," because remember he was all about like establishing us being tough, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, you guys we're gonna go up and down all day until we get stops, and we're gonna get a stop or we're gonna keep going. And then he starts to walk off. He goes, and Gary and A Ray, don't you dare think about missing. We still running. Do you remember?
So
Do you
yeah,
remember that?
I remember that practice too, because I used to be like, because we was working on our defense too, like you said,
Yes.
and I remember I'm like, damn, how am I supposed to guard this dude when he's shooting from all the way out there,
Right.
and that's how I picked that up, because when I was in high school, I really didn't shoot that far.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always like straddle the 3-point line, but Gary got me into that from shooting from long range, because if a team goes zone and most guys are not going to pressure you from out there, and he used to shoot from out there, he used to pull from out there, and I used to be like, damn, like I got to get up on him and I got to play him close, and that's where I got that from. Actually, I got that from Gary, being able
Nice.
to like shoot for off like that. I got that from him.
Nice. Not
But
yeah.
I do
Yeah.
remember that practice. We was going at it. But we
Yeah.
used
That
to
was
always
brutal.
go. We used to always go at it with the seniors and the upperclassmen, because you
Yeah.
know how we came in there. We was like, yo, we want to play. We ain't coming here to sit on the
Right.
bench.
Right. Right.
We
Right. And
we didn't
everybody.
come. Yeah,
What?
me,
So
you, Randy, Kurt, all of us.
right. There's four of
Like,
us. Think about it. There's never 4 slots available on the team. You get what I'm saying? Coming in, but in our mind, there are 4 slots available. It's like, all right, look, whatever we got to do. Here it is. You battling Gary and Randy's there, and then Kurt, because remember Sully was there,
mm-hmm.
and do you remember? I used to play hard against Ricky Wright. He used to beat my tail every practice. He
Yeah,
used to
I'm glad.
slam me.
I'm glad I didn't have to guard him in
Oh
practice,
my
dog.
gosh, he used to slam me, put his shoulder down, go through my chest. I'll take a charge. But
Yeah,
it was, what was the reward? My chest is caved in. I'm like, at the time I was 215. I was skinny as
yeah.
crap. I didn't even hit the
That
weight
dude
room
was
yet.
strong. He
Yeah.
was strong as hell.
I tell
Yeah,
people,
he was strong.
Ricky, right?
Ricky was strong.
I tell people they don't realize Ricky Wright was a more athletic Anthony Glover. And Anthony Glover was athletic alone. But remember, Ricky used to put his face, remember his face would be at the rim when you
Yeah,
drive baseline. Yeah,
yeah.
so that was good times, man. And then the second story, before we finish, and you're gonna bring us up to speed on what you're doing now. The second story, do you remember when we were at St. Mary's? And long story short, coach basically sent John Haynes, Alvin Williams, and Turk, and they was trying to test our manhood. And then remember the time, can you remember the detail? Because I was talking about it with Kurt, and we couldn't remember the fine detail when basically you was like, you was gonna fight Alvin Williams, and then Red was like, yo, let's jump him. And then no, it was John Haynes. And then Alvin
John
heard,
Haynes.
yeah, then Alvin,
Yeah.
take us talk about that. Take us through that moment.
All right. So you remember summertime?
Right.
All they used to come back and play open gym with us. You know, Speedy used to come back. All the old guys used to come back, like alumni, and play with us. So one game, remember we was kicking they tail one game, right? And you know how John Haynes and Alvin, they like to talk smack. They used to talk smack all the time.
Right.
So now it was our turn, and I was playing pretty good, and John Haynes was guarding me, and I remember, and I was cooking that game, and I was talking so much trash to him. So he got mad as hell. He was so pissed off, and he was basically telling me to like shut up or whatever, just play the game, like don't say nothing.
Right.
And you know me, I kept going because they used to dish it out, so I was going. So I remember he had got in my face after the game, and he was like, yo, come on. He was like, let's go outside. Let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah. I remember that. Yes, he was like, let me talk to you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he was like, let me talk to you real quick. He's like, let's go outside real quick. Let me talk to you. So I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, he about to try to fight me outside. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, yeah, this strong dude about to try to fight me outside, man. I'm like, I ain't come here for this today. I'm like, I was not prepared for this. And then
not prepared for this.
Yeah. So that's what I think. Randy was next to me and Kurt and all that, and I was like, yo, come outside. I was like, come outside with me. I had told her, I was like, come outside with me or whatever. And then I remember I had went outside there and met him or whatever, and he was just basically like, you know, like you was playing good and all that, but all that other stuff was unnecessary. You know, you ain't had to be calling me out like that and all that stuff. But you know, it was all good. It was part of the game. But I definitely remember that.
So where I was standing, I was on like half the distance of the court away, because I was by the doors, right? And when you told Rand to come outside, Rand, if you remember, Rand looked at you, was like, yo, you want to do it? You want to do it? Remember, he was basically saying, yo, let's jump him, right? And then Alvin heard him and said, jump who? Jump who? And he said, yo, John, they talk about jumping. And remember, Turk was there. Remember, Turk was big as crap. And it was like, and I remember we called, all four of us looked at each other like, all right, man, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was gonna go down. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was like,
down. Shoot, all right, we're gonna give lumps, or we're gonna get lumps, or both is gonna happen. And I think they respected that. And you know what? I love those guys. Listen, John is a real dude. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, he really had the purpose of being there out of love to guide us.
For sure.
Because John don't care. John will lump someone up in a second. You get what I'm saying? If it really came down to it, but in his mind, he had it like, we're gonna lead these young guys. And I think, and here's what happened. It was, if you remember, we were going at it all week, and towards the end, we sat down on a bench. I don't know if it was in a locker room or if we were on the chairs in St. Mary's. And Alvin was like, all right, let me tell you, Coach Wright sent us down here. He wanted us to test you, to see if you guys were really tough. And John was like, yeah, I heard so much about y'all. I want to see if y'all about that. That's what he was talking. He was like, I want to see if y'all about that. I want to see if y'all really, y'all tough, or, you know what I'm saying? He didn't use the word, but it's my word. He said something about, I want to see if y'all tough, or I want to see if y'all gonna fold. And then they dapped us up, and it was like respect. And I think the bond started there, and it only grew since this day. I stay in touch with both of them, and actually, Alvin didn't know I had the podcast at the time. He was just checking. He was like, what's up, youngin? And then I was like, what's up, big bro? And then we were just talking, and we were just staying in touch. And then I said, hey, I want you to jump on a podcast, So, yeah. So that was good.
I talked to Alvin maybe like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I talked to him, doing his, he got the sports management thing going on right now. Yeah, I spoke to him.
Yeah, let's talk about what you got going on. Talk about Ray Solutions.
Yeah, so right now, man, I own my own real estate business. It's called Ray Home Solutions. What I basically do right now, I just started it probably about 2 years ago. I'm flipping houses here in the Atlanta area. I'm working on my third house now. It's been great. I wish that I would have been doing this earlier, You
Mhm.
know, this is it's something that I actually love and I enjoy doing it. You know, and when I was young, I always wanted to own my own business, and just being able to like have my own business now and doing this is just a blessing in disguise. And I'm also a sports agent working with Aaron Riley with AMR Agency. Right now, I represent my brother who's playing in Turkey right now. We got some good things in the works going on right now. You know, we've been talking to some guys, and I'm real excited about that because you know that's really what I want to do. You know, I want to be a sports agent. Just want to be able to guide these kids, not just on the court but off the court, and help them make the best decisions for their life and everything that they got going on, and also teach them about like investing their money and you know not just like wasting it and stuff like that. So this is something that I really want to do for a long time. So I'm really excited about that. And I just want the real estate is something that I do on the side and kind of want to get to the point where I'm automated with that. And I'm looking to start getting into buying some small buildings in the next year or two and just keep growing from there. So real estate is something great. You know, everybody talks about the stock market and my last flip I did, I made about a 40% ROI on my investment.
Wow.
And you can't really get that in the stock market in 6 months. You know,
Right.
flipping a house, 6 months, get 40% ROI on your investment. You know, stock market, you getting maybe 6, 7%
Mhm. Mhm.
at the
Standard.
most, like consistently. So,
Right.
you know, it's definitely something lucrative that I love doing. And, you know, I've got some partners also that I work with. So, you know, I got a team, construction guys, realtor, everybody. So it's going great right now. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing now. And right now I'm grinding and working hard with the agency thing, and that's really like my passion and what I really want to do. So just stay tuned with that, and you know, there's gonna be some announcements with that also.
Well, Nova Nation, you heard it straight from his mouth. A-Ray, tell them, because I like to follow you guys on Instagram, especially when you're flipping the homes and how you get hands-on with it. Where can people go to see your work that you're doing?
All right, so you can follow my Instagram page with my real estate, which is Ray Home Solutions _ that's the handle for that. And I also have the same handle on Twitter. And you can follow me on my other Instagram page, which is a.ray_. And just see everything that I got going on there.
And one more time, Ray Home Solutions _ correct?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
They go your handle. And lastly, I'll say this: the youth that come into your guidance are very fortunate and blessed, because I think two things that jump out to me: your household. I always admired how your family structure was set up with your parents and the siblings, and how family was important. I respected how your dad led as a man, and he took care of his family, and he showed, especially with everything that was going around you. And you said it in the locker room one time. And here's how I remember this stuff. Here's how real it is. You remember one time you said the reason why you didn't join gangs or do anything else because you saw how hard your dad worked, and he'll come home, he paid the bills. And do you remember saying that?
Yeah, I do, because I remember I always used to feel that way. Man, how the hell you be remembering all this stuff, man?
Well, you know what? So I remember, I don't know, there's certain things that just stick with me, and I got good memory, you know, or photographic memory, certain things, and in certain other instances, I just remember well. And I remember you sitting down, and the reason why that was important to me, I didn't have my dad, my biological
Yeah,
father, like that. So I
yeah,
always admired when I saw men with their sons, because in my mind, I said, I'm going to build that. That's why
yeah.
when I had Junior, I named him right after me, you know, because I said I was going
Hmm.
to build a legacy that I wish. And I have my relationship with my dad now, but it wasn't what you had from the start. So it was always so important to me. And I remember holding on to every word, and how your dad would be there. And that's why Uncle Paul plays such a pivotal role in my life, and many of my cousins and siblings as well, as that father figure. But I remember watching your dad. I remember watching Kurt's stepfather, and those two always really stuck out to me, like how active they were and how present they were, and even Bump's dad, you know, and then and even Nardi's stepfather right there. So you know, it's all cool, and other dads on the team as well. But I remember that, and again, the players that you guys is going to be very fortunate and lucky because you had that structured family household. But at the same time, as a professional, you know, there were pitfalls that you had to learn the hard way, or there were pitfalls that, you know, that you probably made the right decision, but you could have handle it better or did things differently, you know, that, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And you're able to teach them, because it's not like you were a lottery pick and you had a team of people that's laying out.
Yeah.
Because if you have a team of people, you really don't know what to do. You had a team of people doing it for you.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I look at those as like lessons, you know, learning experiences, you know, and then and also I forgot to mention too. So yeah, I did go overseas and I played, and I finished my 2-year contract, and I was supposed to go to not summer league, to training camp with the Raptors, and I wound up tearing my ACL, and I had to sit out the whole year. And then I went back and played, and really didn't have a great year that year, because I was kind of hampering it. You know how it is being overseas, man. Like you gotta be careful with injuries. So I wasn't like the most confident when I first came back, and you know I definitely remember that. You know, just because anything can happen in life. Like if you had told me I'd have tore my ACL, I'd have looked at you like, yeah, probably not. You know, but things happen. So yeah, I definitely forgot about that.
Yeah, but again, you have a wealth of knowledge and experience. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you all around. I'm proud of you as the player you were at Villanova. I'm proud of you, the professional you became. I'm proud of you, the dad who you are. I'm proud of you, the man who you are as a person. I'm so proud of you, and I love you. And I want to thank you again for joining us on Blueblood on the Mainline. So everyone, you know, let us know what you think about this interview with Allan Ray. Also leave your comments that you may have, because some of our guests will be returning. So things that you wanted them to answer, or different insights that you want them to respond to, go there. Don't forget to subscribe, and write your review. So A-Ray, thanks again for joining us at Blueblood on the Mainline. God bless you. We end with me saying something and you finish it. We all know it. Once a cat,
always a wildcat.
V's up, baby.
You already know.
I see you.